Jennifer Gallacher, and I run Santa Cruz Rehearsal Studios with my husband, Paul, and we are about to celebrate our 5-year anniversary in January. And this is really exciting for me because Think Local First was one of the first organizations officially that we joined when we became a real business. So it's kind of full circle to be here tonight, and I'm really thankful for that. We are not a recording studio, which a lot of people think we are. We're actually basically a 2,000 square foot concrete box with 4 soundproof rooms built into it, where your friend, your coworker, whoever you know, your neighbor comes when they get off their real job to play music extremely loud so that you don't call the police on them. And Matthew was right when he said he did not give a lot of parameters for this 6 minutes. So it's kind of fun, though, because I was reflecting on, well, what does drive and motivate me? And I realized that over the past 5 years, it's really, really changed. Unlike Dan, in the beginning, it wasn't beer that motivated me, it was fear. It was the absolute fear of failure. And I just remember very distinctly when my husband and I finally made the leap mentally, and it was probably like when we told our parents we're starting a business. And from then on, the motivating driving factor was just, I don't want to fail. I want to prove all the naysayers wrong. And it was just a very adrenaline-based feeling. And that lasted a good couple years. And kind of reflecting today, when I'm not as worried if the phone's actually going to ring, because we literally did sit by the phone for a little while there, and I'm not as worried about being able to pay the rent. So it was fun to kind of think like, oh, okay, we're out of the fear-based motivation. Where are we now? And my conclusion was, or is, at best, at worst, extremely cliche, and at best, extremely magical. And for me, it really does come back to the music. So, hence the cliche. But in a world that we live in, for me at least, in the world that I live in, there are not that many things that I'm really clear on, that I really know are true. I can probably count them on my hand. And music is one of them. Music, for me, matters, and there is no question about it mattering. It just does, and it matters to me, and it matters to our customers, and that truth is extremely motivating and really makes us keep doing what we're doing, even though as an entrepreneur you do live it 24 hours a day. You know, you get off. For me, I actually also have a real job, the one that has benefits. And my husband runs the studio day to day, and then I'll come home and do this job, or I'll do this job on the weekend. And there has to be that motivation to be that committed to something. And so that's what it is. And in conjunction with that, I've really found the motivation is the community, because I've always been a consumer of music, but being in the music community in Santa Cruz through the rehearsal studio is beyond spectacular. I get to be there when someone bursts out of the room super sweaty and super stoked, and they just finished a new song and they're gonna play tomorrow night and their fans are gonna love it. And it's real. We all have those memories of going to a show. And you know, I was kind of doing some research before this talk, and one of the things I read was that music is one of the most powerful sound recognitions that we have. You know, it just means a lot. So yeah, case in point. Thank you, Matthew. And I'm going to end there. No. So that's the crux of my talk. But I want to take this moment to remind everyone here on my soapbox that and bring it back to the local, that local music is a commodity. It's just as much of a commodity as local beer, local wine, local jams. It's something that you can actively seek out and support. You can go to shows, you can buy local music. There's a bin at Streetlight Records. There's a Santa Cruz Music Festival. I mean, we're so lucky. You can think of any national touring band that you love, and I can pretty much guarantee you that there's a local artist that's going to excite you and inspire you just as much, and you could probably see them for $5 at the Crate Place tomorrow night. So I just kind of want to remind you of that. And also, our local library has a new project called Soundswell, where you can literally get local music for free with your library card. They got a huge grant and paid our local musicians real money to license their music so that the local so people could go to the library and take out local music and get involved and then go to a show and just perpetuate this amazing cycle of music. So if that's not inspiring, honestly, I don't know for me what is. And I kind of wanted to, I have no idea where I am on time, but I really wanted to read you guys this quote because I thought it would be fun to have a quote. And I wanted to read a quote from someone who is really well known, but who's not well known for being a musician, because I'm not a musician. I cannot hold a tune, I do not do karaoke, and I cried when I took ukulele lessons. So that's not what I am, but music, it doesn't make music any less important or relevant to me. So this is a quote from Hunter S. Thompson, who obviously is very well known, but not for being a musician. And this is what he had to say about music. Music has always been a matter of energy to me, a question of fuel. Sentimental people call it inspiration, but what they really mean is fuel. I have always needed fuel. I am a serious consumer. On some nights, I still believe that a car with the gas needle on empty can run about 50 more miles if you have the right music loud enough on the radio. And with that, thank you for being here. Thank you for having me.